Hi, everybody. Welcome to the PokeBeach.com podcast. My name is John. I go by Water Pokemon Master on the website. And I am joined, as always, by my wonderful friend,
Justin Basil of justinbasil.com.
And today is a special episode because we both just realized right before the episode began that we started this podcast exactly 1 year ago today. The first episode was published. So it's been an entire year, and we did the calculations, 6 episodes throughout that time. All Justin Basil's fault for each of those.
Sure, episodes. Yeah.
Wasn't it?
Look, I will admit this last week was not my fault. Although I did contribute to it being a problem. Okay, this is schedule mismatches for the most part.
Yeah, well,
but
it's because you have school things going on, which are obviously more important than a podcast episode. But I see you're in a new room now. The background is completely different, so I'm assuming you finished your move?
Well, all of my junk is in this place now. I don't know if it's necessarily finished.
Oh, yeah. That's the thing with moves, yeah.
Yeah.
The boxes sit for like 6 months before you fully unpack everything.
Oh, I don't want them to sit for 6 months because I will go absolutely crazy if they sit that long. I'm hoping to have it done by the end of this next week.
Nice.
Get everything put away in their new spots. But no, it's been a long move. I had the help of my friends, especially, and a bit of my family also.
Oh.
And that helped a lot. So it went fairly smoothly. I am missing a box of movies, and I'm kind of concerned about where that went. But otherwise, we're good, I guess. Hopefully we get an update. And I found it in some random hole in some place and didn't realize it was there. But as of yet, I'm missing $200-300 worth of movies, so at least.
I buy movies and then I download them so that I can play them digitally on the TV through Chromecast. So I own them; they're somewhere, but I still have like digital copies of them that I play.
Yeah, I prefer the 4K and Blu-ray copies when I can get them. Like I said, I have like my entire collection of Game of Thrones is missing. My entire Harry Potter collection is missing. I got basically all of it's like G through K in my Blu-ray collection is completely missing. I'm not sure where it's gone.
Oh, I love how you have them alphabetical like that.
Yeah, they were alphabetized, so I know what's missing. But
I used to carry around a binder with all my DVDs and Blu-ray discs in them, like when I would go to my grandma's house or to my parents' house so I could watch movies. And I remember I had all my Pokemon movies on the front few pages because I loved watching those over and over, along with Studio Ghibli movies. Those were my jam. It was actually... go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say it was actually convenient that you were busy this last week because I was installing a new water heater and I'm getting ready to install solar on the house. So I've been running around doing permits and looking up, different things like wires, sizes and everything, and going to Home Depot. So it worked out. And then my friend took me to my best friend works at DreamWorks, and she took me to see the Wild Robot for the crew screening at the Academy Museum, and it felt like a Ghibli film, and I really loved it. So I'm probably going to buy that soon, and that'll be the next movie I add to my movie collection.
Nice. Yeah, it's funny you mentioned that because I was like, well, what have you been doing this last week?
Oh, yeah.
So it worked out.
Well, yeah,
you answered the question before I even... You're like psychic.
You are a psychic
type. You're maybe water Pokemon master, but you were a psychic type.
We're on the same page. Well, we know each other so well. Like, we know how to, we have discussions all the time. So we know how to lead into different things, I guess. But I'm a psychic type. I'm a grass type. I have plants everywhere. I'm every type, honestly. I just love water because I grew up surfing, and my family is a swimming family, so that was always my my go-to type. But I'm really every type. I love everything. I love geology too, which is rocks, and I love sports, so I'm fighting type, and I don't know. I could be everything. Maybe not poison, because I haven't murdered anybody yet, but I guess that would be my go-to weapon.
We can all be a little toxic sometimes, right?
I don't know. I don't feel like I'm very toxic. I actually just growing up online, I've seen how toxic people can be, even before that was a term. So I do my best to avoid drama and stay out of things. Although I guess, yeah, sometimes I unintentionally get into things, we all do over the years. But anyway, so I don't even know what news we've had the last 2 weeks because I've been so busy and I know
There's actually been a fair bit.
Was it? Oh, I thought it wasn't that much.
No.
Let me see. Okay, let's go to the website.
I mean, compared to the episode a few weeks ago, like, no, that one that was like 2 hours long.
Yeah,
that was quite an episode.
Yeah, but I don't think we've had that much, have we? I don't know. I mean, I've like posted, but I don't.
Not compared to that one. No.
Yeah, like, okay, let me go to the second page since the last. Okay, so I think this was actually the biggest story was the trademarks, which is, should we start with the newest news first and then we'll work backward, or?
Let's just start where we want to start, however we want to start.
Well, I don't even remember these stories. Everything is such a blur because anyway. All right. So I guess the first news story we will talk about, which I guess would be old news now if you read the website. But we got 3 new Japanese trademarks for Black Bolt, White Flare, and Heat Wave Arena. They're under the same terms as trademarks used for past set names. So we are like 99.9% sure these are new sets coming out. We usually discover trademarks 6 to 8 months before they're used, so these will probably start releasing in July. White Flare and Black Bolt. Gee, I wonder what those are. Any idea what those could be?
Seems like a lot like a Gen 5 thing to me.
Right, exactly. They'll be obviously... sounds like those will be dual sets headlined by Reshiram and Zekrom. Maybe this is how we're going to get the Ends Reshiram cards that we saw revealed at Worlds. And then I think we originally translated Heatwave Arena as Hot Air Arena, which didn't really make
that was not my translation. I'll tell you that.
I know that was that was the quick translation to get up the news story, and then later we were like, I was like, what is Hot Air? That doesn't make. I mean, I know what Hot Air is, but like it just doesn't sound like a set name. And then we looked more into it. I looked at the Chinese names, and it was, this is the Chinese. The characters they're using is the Chinese name for the Heatwave attack from the video games. So it's Heatwave Arena is a better. They're both technically correct translations, but Heatwave Arena is a more appropriate translation. And that sounds like that would be associated with Volcarona because it uses Heatwave in the games. That's like it's one of the most well-known Pokemon for using that move. So maybe that'll be like a Volcarona because it's like tying in with Reshiram. If these 3 trademarks are related, maybe it's White Flare and Black Bolt or Reshiram and Zekrom, and then Heatwave Arena could be Volcarona, all Gen 5. Maybe Heatwave Arena would be like Alder's Volcarona EX. I don't know, all speculation, but it's always nice. Like I love these kinds of news stories because this is what gets the fandom talking, like, and excited. And it's just like these little morsels of information that don't really spoil anything, but it gets a lot of fan discussion going. And that's always my favorite type of news story.
So while I agree with you, I also caution against it, or at least with some reason, because then you get into situations like we've had with Paradise Dragona, where the fans have, in their minds prior to the set reveals, created this amazing set with all these cool cards, lots of dragons, lots of really interesting things, and the reality is we get some apples. Well,
so when we got the set description for Surging Sparks, we realized that Surging Sparks' English description sort of revealed that the Japanese set is actually taking place at the which biome is it in Blueberry? I can't even remember. One of the coastal biome. From the DLC. So it's a dragon set, but it's taking place at the coastal biome, which has Alolan Executor in it and a lot of the other Pokemon from the set. So we originally thought like, oh, okay, this is going to be a pure dragon set. No, I mean, not a pure dragon set, but obviously a dragon focused set because of Year of the Dragon and everything. And it technically is, but it's also still tying into the video games and the coastal biome, which has a Lolian Executor. So it's sort of like a dual themed set in a way. But yeah, I guess like it did feel a little disappointing with what we were speculating versus what it actually turned out to be. But I don't often remember that being the case with the trading card game. I don't really remember us ever speculating something and then being disappointed. I think this is like one of the rare instances. So I do agree with you that like this is something that can happen, but I don't see it too often. And like, yeah, we're speculating about these being black and white sets, but like, I don't think anyone's going to be super disappointed if it's not like a fully black and white set. It would be
very interesting to have 3 sets tied to a generation like this.
Yeah.
I wonder if they're trying to focus on a generation again, because I know a lot of people were speculating for the longest time, myself included, that they would eventually be doing Gen 5 remakes, probably this next generation.
We were
in Gen 10, but this would be premature for that.
Yeah, I don't know what's happening. It just might be. I remember we got some. What was it? Was it Sun and Moon or something? We started getting Diamond and Pearl focused sets, and also Diamond and Pearl in the anime when there was no Diamond and Pearl remake at that time. Like we got with the I Choose You movie. I remember one of the new female character in that movie we thought was Cynthia's daughter, and because there was a photo that character had in the movie where it looked like Cynthia was in the photo, and so there was like some Diamond and Pearl hints happening in the anime, and then there was like a Diamond and Pearl set at the time. I don't remember. So this kind of feels to me like the same thing where they're just like deciding to randomly promote a generation for no reason. And I don't know, maybe we'll get like a black and white re-release like on the virtual console or something. I don't know if that's very likely, but they have done it before. So and if again, we've talked about how this year is kind of stalling, waiting for ZA and then the next generation. So and those are always the times in the card game when it's most fun, when it's not really like directly tying into the video games, when they're doing their own thing, like coming up with Delta Species or Owner's Pokemon, that's always when the card game is the most fun to me. So I'm glad they are, it seems like they're going in that direction. Again, we don't know why they're doing this black and white theming, apparently. This supposed black and white theming, but yeah. What were we talking about? I don't even remember. Oh, this is the 3, the trademarks. And then, so none of so again, as that news story I posted a month or two ago talking about how the card game was hinting that ZA isn't coming out anytime soon. Again, none of these 3 trademarks appear to reference Legends ZA or Kalos as we know it. In fact, it seems to be referencing Gen 5. This is more evidence the game will come out later in 2025, ZA. Creating sets headlined by Univa's box legendaries also seems counterproductive to advertising a Kalos game. It just about bombs ZA coming out anywhere near these sets. So with me saying that, is what I'm saying is that like, well, if they're deciding to advertise Gen 5, as it seems to be with these trademarks, there's no way they're going to do a Gen 5 focus sets and then immediately go into ZA. Because they wouldn't do a Gen 5 theme thing and then go directly into a Legends game. That's just not a thing that they do. Granted, we don't know much about ZA. We know it's taking place in Lumio City, which is in Kalos. Maybe there's some kind of tie-in to Gen 5. I think in the video games there's some lore with Kalos and Univa having some links or something, but I don't know.
I know Kalos and Galar have links. I don't know about Univa and Kalos.
Well, didn't they? Wasn't it something with the legendaries with maybe I'm misremembering. I'll have to look it up later. This is the kind of thing where I can't think out loud. I have to like sit down and think about it, and so I might be wrong about that. But anyway, it just doesn't seem like they would be releasing Gen 5 sets and then going immediately into a ZA game focused on Kalos. That just, to me, it seems like coming out with sets themed around Univa's box legendaries just completely bombs ZA coming out anywhere near those sets. So, yeah. And then let's just review the TCG schedule real quick because I put it in this story. So, Paradise Dragona came out. We're going to get to that. October 18th, we're going to get Supercharged Breaker featuring Terra Pikachu EX. November 22nd, we're going to get 9 decks called the EX Starter Deck Generations featuring 18 Pokemon EX. Each deck is going to feature a legendary Pokemon from each of the 9 generations, paired with a Pokemon from that generation. So again, more stalling. December 6th will be the Terrestrial Festival set featuring Eevee and its evolutions as Pokemon EX. This will be Japan's annual high-class pack set.
I don't think those starter decks can be considered stalling. They do that pretty much every generation.
Right.
I don't think that can be considered stalling.
But it's the theming, though, because the theming is going through each of the generations. That's where I'm saying it's a little bit stalling. Whereas if it were,
it's just themed. It's literally the same kind of product.
Well, but the starter deck, the first starter decks that came out, wasn't that heavily focused on that generation's Pokemon? What was that? It was Start Deck 100. Can you look that up real quick? Actually, Start Deck 100. What were the EXs?
Start Deck 100 was just 100 starter decks. That's all it was.
No, but I'm saying, what were the Pokemon from those decks? I kind of thought they were more themed.
They were all over the place.
Were they? Okay. Well, then maybe it isn't stalling then. But the just to review real quick, the EX start, I posted this back in April. It was going to be Pikachu EX and Snorlax EX for Gen 1, and then starting with the rest of them, it was going to be a legendary Pokemon from that generation paired with a Pokemon from that generation. Gen 2 being Lugia EX and Tyranitar EX. Gen 3, Kyogre, Blaziken. 4, Dialga Lucario. 5, Reshiram, Amoonguss. Then Xerneas and Noivern, not Noivern. Then Tapu Koko and Mimikyu, Zacian and Alcremie, and then Koraidon and Paldean Clodsire. So we are getting a lot of EXs coming out soon, and those will be presumably in our in our February set or March,
like a February mini set,
or March maybe.
I think it'll be a February mini set. I think they're going to take all the stuff from this, like all the new cards, and they're going to shove it in with all of the special stuff that they haven't already given us from the end of the wrap-up set in Japan.
And then you're thinking that'll be a special set or a main set?
Yeah.
Special set.
It'll be a special set.
For the
That's
beginning
my
of the
thinking,
year.
at least.
And then January 24th, obviously we're going to get Battle Partners featuring the return of the Owner's Pokemon mechanic. On February 21st, we're going to get those 2 pre-constructed decks, Steven's Beldum and Metagross EX and Marnie's Morpeko and Grimmsnarl EX. We've already seen the Marnie's Grimmsnarl EX. Then we get into the trademarks that we've learned about but haven't been revealed yet through distributors through distributors. So maybe in March we'll get the Glory of Team Rocket. Maybe in April we'll get Black Bolt and White Flare. In May for the last few years there were no sets, so we might skip May. And then maybe in June we'll get Heatwave Arena. But we don't know the timeline yet, so those are just guesses. So those are all the upcoming lineup, all the upcoming sets and products that we know about for Japan, and then of course that haven't been revealed yet, but that we know are coming because of trademarks.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it's interesting.
I'm genuinely excited about this coming year. I love the Owner's mechanic. I remember on one of the previous episodes you asked me what did you want me to see come back, and I said Owner's Pokemon. So I'm really excited about that. I'm excited for the Team Rocket stuff. I think this next year is going to be very exciting for the card game. This year has kind of felt, I don't know. What is your opinion about this last year of the card game? Do you have any strong feelings about it?
I haven't really loved the Pokemon selections.
Yeah.
I think the A specs have kind of carried the whole year, which is unfortunate for collectors, I think, because they're not really interested in the A specs. They're interested in the Pokemon. I will say the art has been really, really good. We have cards like that Greninja EX.
Yeah.
Super beautiful art. But at the same time, there needs to be a little bit less focus on Paradox, a little bit more focus on Pokemon that people actually care about. And this year was, especially at the beginning of the year, very heavily focused on Paradox Pokemon.
Yeah, I kind of felt like this second year of the what generation are we on? Scarlet and Violet. I kind of felt like it was very slow and stalled. Like they were really milking it for content. So to me, I don't know. There wasn't really anything that got me super excited. That's why I'm glad the card game in the third year now is doing its own thing with these owners Pokemon and stuff, because they can do whatever they want. And they can, do a Team Rocket set. They can do a black and white thing. So they're going off in their own direction, and I'm always glad when they do that, when they're not like beholden to the video games.
Yeah.
All right, so that was our first story of last week. Now, what's our next? Okay, so then we were getting we're getting Paradise Dragona, so we'll skip those individual reveals because the full set was revealed. So let me go back to the first page of the website, if it'll load. Oh no, what's happening? It's not loading.
No kidding.
Okay, there it goes. All right, so our next news story is that there's going to be more Pokemon Go cards releasing in China, continuing to release in China. So Zapdos from Pokemon Go is getting exclusive new artwork in their next compilation set called Shadow of the Azure Sea. It'll release on September 20th. And
so Azure Sea for the record. But even still,
is that how you say it? I thought it was Azure.
Yeah, it's Azure. The art for that Zapdos is super cool. I like it.
Yeah, I love this art. It reminds me of the second Pokemon movie.
Yes.
Because we saw Zapdos in that pose during the movie. I remember when I saw Zapdos in that movie, I turned to my brother and I said, Zapdos has a black back? And he goes, yeah, you didn't know that? I was like, well, I don't think that's been revealed yet. Because we never saw that in the anime up until that point. We only had the robotic Zapdos on the Island of Giant Pokemon episode, and I don't think it's artwork. Its artwork like kind of shows, like sort of shows that it has black parts to its wings. But anyway, this reminds me of
with the hollow foil, you're talking about like the base set, right? Like the base set artwork or the fossil artwork.
I don't remember.
Because both of them, like you can kind of see it, but like especially if it's on the hollow foil, it's kind of hard to see the black.
Yeah. So
it's easy. At the very least, it's easy to miss it.
Yeah. So when we were seeing the second movie in theaters, I remember turning to my brother and being like, "Oh, wow, it's got a black back." And this is the pose it reminds me of in the movie when it's sitting on the island, and then Lawrence 3 comes over and it's like squawking at him. Anyway, so yeah, I like this artwork a lot better. And I love the purple. It always goes well with Zapdos. And we'll probably get maybe a couple more cards from Pokemon Go. I still don't think they're going to release that Pokestop card, or I think they're just going to release a few of them.
I think they're going to have to release it under a different name or something, because that card's really important.
But they haven't released they've skipped cards before, so I don't know. I mean, they could, but they've also been slowing down the amount of Pokemon Go cards they've released in China, because we saw in the Brave Stars set they introduced 14 with new artwork. Then Shadow of Glory, they released 5 more. And then now we have this one, and nothing else has been revealed so far. And the set comes out in 5 days. So I think they aren't going to release too many unless they really spread it out. But I don't know. But yeah, so new Zapdos.
Mm-hmm.
Cool beans.
Shocking.
All right, and then we got the main reveal of Paradise Dragona, which, as we kind of talked about, some fans seemed a little disappointed about. because we got
It's pretty underwhelming.
we got
As a player
apples
set, it's
and-
pretty underwhelming.
Yeah, it does feel that way too. And it was also, you could kind of tell that with the reveal cycle they did, because the card reveals were just not really landing. And you were like, how? Because they usually reveal the really good cards up front, and then they continue to reveal good cards. And then like the ones they leave on the table are kind of like the iffy cards. But this one, it felt like a lot of them were iffy for the daily reveals. But it is a small set. So anyway.
It's also worth noting, too, that the daily reveals that they normally do, they were really sparse for Paradise Dragona.
Well, it's
like,
only-
usually they're pretty... Even still, usually they're pretty, this card this day, that card the next day, a couple cards this day. There were, like, whole weeks where there was just nothing.
Yeah, so we got the... when did we get the reveal for it? It wasn't at Worlds, was it? I can't remember.
No.
Was it before?
Prior to World, was it not?
I can't remember. I wrote the news stories for all of, all these reveals and stuff, and I was at Worlds, but don't ask me to recall anything because it all blurs together. But maybe, I don't know, maybe they just had to reveal it a little. No, they did reveal it at Worlds, didn't they? Because the Alolan I remember thinking like, oh, the set is very beach themed, and just Google it real quick. I don't know. But anyway, but yeah, the set felt underwhelming. But we did get some. Well, I'll get to the illustration rares later. But were there any other cards we should talk about from the set that we didn't already talk about that they revealed?
So the only Pokemon EX that hadn't been revealed when we were last looking at this was Cyclizar EX, and frankly, it's just not interesting.
Yeah.
It has Breakthrough 130 and then 32 a bench, and then Zircon Road for 180, and you draw 5 cards.
Yeah.
Like, it's just
Bleh.
not that interesting, unfortunately.
Yeah. And it's also, as we'll get to in one of the next stories, the Cyclizar full art card is the least valuable card in the set. So Japan agrees with you. Japan does not think this is a good card.
It's not especially good.
Yeah.
And that's even with like Flygon. At least Flygon can hit and run into something like Mimikyu. This is just not.
This is another thing, like
good.
Ending the year on this kind of bad set is like kind of tainting this year in my head for me. That's why I'm excited for this next. And I think it's tainting it for a lot of fans.
It's a good thing we still have 4 months left of this year.
Yeah.
Right? We have other sets.
We have Supercharged Breaker. We have the EV set. So
the EV set will make everybody happy. It's fine.
We'll have the EX decks and everything. But up to this point, it feels
we'll be fine.
This year feels bleh. Did we get a new trainer that we hadn't seen?
The only
before?
trainer I can think of is the Berry.
Oh, the berry, which was just the water one. Yeah.
Yeah, it's for water. It reduces water damage.
What-
It's fine.
What?
It's just like the other 2 berries.
Yeah. Okay.
Like, it's one of those cards where I think it might actually see play at some point. Maybe. It's theoretically possible that it will see play. It's just like the gloves that we got in like Brilliant Stars time frame, where some of them saw niche play, and they were very useful in certain decks for a while. But they weren't like ever huge mana breaking cards. They're just cards that were eventually good for a brief while in certain decks, and that was it.
And then here's the thing I wrote before. According to the Surging Sparks set description, the cards here are themed after Blueberry Academy's artificial terranium. This explains why the booster pack shows dragon Pokemon in a tropical paradise. Alolan Executor is found in the coastal dome of the terranium, despite being from Alola. So that's what this set is doing here. It's still tying into the games while finding an excuse to also celebrate Year of the Dragon by having some dragon Pokemon in it. All right, then we'll look at the secret rares in the later story covering the secret rares. Oh god, and then again for this year being bleh.
Yeah.
So the promos for the Terapagos EX Ultra Premium Collection were officially revealed. We had kind of talked before about maybe they're placeholders, and they are not. They are just gold. They're gold Cinderace, gold Lapras full art, and then just the full art Terapagos. It's like you couldn't even come up with like.
Nope.
It's like they're not even uniform. Like, why are we getting 2 golds and then the regular
A full art.
Yeah, it's like, why is this so weird? It's like even the products.
It's bad.
Even the products are struggling to be exciting because there isn't that much, I guess, in Japan that they could market here. And then what does this also say about their Eevee set? Like, because they could have, or I'm assuming that's where these cards are coming from here, the Gold, Cinderace, and Lapras. So what is this saying that the...
they're probably... I think the Eevee set, they want to save all the Eevees for when that's actually coming out.
Here.
Is what it says to me. Yeah, when it comes out here.
Yeah. But it's also saying that that set isn't going to have much else going on. It's like maybe it's just going to be the...
It's probably going to be a 70 card set that's mostly Evolutions, and that's fine.
Yeah.
But again, you can't take away from that. You can't be like, oh, okay, we're going to cut Sylveon for a junk $200 box. It's like, no, Sylveon needs to be in the set with everybody else.
Right. Well, so what I'm saying is that the Trash Festival set doesn't feel like it's going to have much else exciting in it, because it might also just be mostly reprints. Like it could be one of those every few years we get a set that's like just purely reprints with just a couple of new artworks in them. So maybe that's what Trash Festival is going to end up being.
I mean, if that's the case, then maybe our beginning of year set will be in February for once. It's been a while since our beginning of year set was actually in February. I should say beginning of year main set, to be clear. I understand we've had many sets. That's not my point. But the beginning of year main set's been pushed to March a lot the last few years. So
yeah. All right. So yeah, this Tropicos EX UPC is... I am not interested in that at all. I think a lot of fans aren't.
Nor am I.
Yeah. All right. Next story would be
Plush Pikachu deck box.
Yeah, they're just releasing it at the Pokemon Center for $16.99. It's a fluffy deck box. I actually have this.
I saw the note in the article. It says it originally released in Japan in March 2023. I was like, this product looks so familiar, and now I know why.
Yeah.
Because I've seen it. My locals have had it.
Yeah, I picked that up when I went to Worlds in Japan. I saw this at a convenience store and bought it. And yeah, so this is one of the few things that I posted that I actually own. But yeah, so now we're getting it in English at all of the Pokemon centers. So yeah, you can pick it up. It's fluffy and it's cute, and it'll also get dirty.
It's got Pikachu's face on it.
It'll also get dirty if you don't take care of it.
It's one of those products. If it's fuzzy, it's gonna get dirty.
Yeah, so don't eat.
Unfortunately, it's not a cat. It won't clean itself.
Don't eat like pizza and then handle this, because it'll get all nasty.
Yeah.
Okay. Here's a kind of interesting-ish story, more of an interesting note. But Elite Trainer boxes are now going to be, the promos in Elite Trainer boxes are now going to be packaged with card dividers. So starting with Stellar Crown, the promos and code cards in an Elite Trainer box will be packaged with the box's card dividers in a single shrink wrap package. Presumably, this is to better protect the promos from bending. So this means if you have the Pokemon Center Elite Trainer box, which comes with 2 promos, you'll get the stamped Pokemon Center promo on top, followed by the regular unstamped promo, followed by the code card, and then the 4 card dividers all together in one shrink wrap package. So previously the promos were shrink wrapped separately, and the card dividers were just thrown into the box. So this will keep the items more organized and reduce the plastic, at least in the Pokemon Center version of the Elite Trainer box. But the cons of this are that you're now going to have a thick packet, and if you want to keep that sealed and put it into your binder, may not fit depending on your card pages. And you also can't display the promos separately without opening the package. So I don't know if anyone really cares about that. I mean, for me, when I've ever gotten them, I just open the package anyway and just sleeve them. So,
to be fair, I like this move. I know some collectors don't, and I understand why they don't. But at the same time, I'd rather have the cards be in good condition consistently. Because I have gotten ETBs where the card might as well have gone through a grinder because it was so screwed up by everything else in the box. It happens.
Yeah.
I get it. A lot of the time you still get a perfectly good card out of it without the backers, or without the dividers rather. But I think the extra support is good.
Yeah, and it saves, plastic wrap and keeps everything together and sturdy. So you and I think most people watching this are fans. We're not scalpers or sellers or whatever. So like for us, we open product and consume them because we want to play with them or put them in our binders. So for you and I think most fans, this is beneficial, but for sellers, it might be a little more of a pain because you can't. You can't.
This just reminds me I need to pick up some Seller Crown ATBs on Pokemon Center.
Yeah, I want the I want the Tropicos special illustration rare Tropicos EX, and I love this Noctowl too. I don't think I'm gonna pick this up though. I'm just gonna get individual cards because that's how I operate. So yeah, now they're changing the packaging or how they're packaging things, which is cool. We'll see if this affects other products too. Maybe they'll
see how it makes a difference.
Yeah, we'll see if they rethink other things. Okay, next news story is that we are getting our first ever 7-Eleven English promo. So fans who purchase a booster pack, it's a Stellar Crown booster pack, from 7-Eleven stores in Singapore, Malaysia, and the Philippines will receive a stamped Lapras promo. This will be the first ever English 7-Eleven promo. And this released on September 13th, which is when Stellar Crown released. So this is technically a Stellar Crown store promo. And the Lapras is non-holo, so it's not holographic. But it has this cool 7-Eleven stamp, which we've never seen before in English.
So when do we get these in the United States and Canada? Because
we are not getting them, and we're not getting them anywhere.
But when? Why can we not? We have 7-Eleven here.
We do, why not? But I don't think 7-Eleven is as big here as it is in those countries. I would have to look up the numbers, but I just feel like in my day-to-day life, I don't really feel like 7-Eleven is as important to people as like it is in Asian countries where, you go to Japan, there's 7-Elevens on a lot of corners. They have family marts and convenience stores like that. So I think people of those countries rely on 7-Eleven stores more, and they're within walking distance. They pick up things quickly. Whereas here in the U.S., we go to Walmart and, to Target and more big box stores than we do to 7-Elevens for things. I might be wrong. I don't know. Or it could depend on your area. I'm here in LA, so I might have a completely different experience than other Americans. But I drop into 7-Eleven. I go to a donut shop over here, and I pick up sandwiches from the donut shop, and then sometimes I'll run into 7-Eleven to get their macarons. They have these like macarons package, these 4 packs of macarons, and they're really cheap, and I love getting those. And then once in a while, I'll grab a coffee or a Diet Coke or something. So it's usually, for me, it's just like a quick stop, or if I'm on a road trip, just like a quick stop. But yeah. So anyway, this has not been announced for the US or anywhere else. And I also think this is more of a what am I saying? A Southeast
Asian
Asia
market thing.
Yeah, Southeast Asia thing. I don't think it's actually technically. Sorry, I said before it's technically a Stellar Crown promo, but I don't think it is. I think it's just 7-Eleven is now partnering with Pokemon, and this was the inaugural promo they released to celebrate that. There was like a whole press event for 7-Eleven carrying Pokemon products now or whatever. So I think this was to celebrate that, but it is also like a Stellar Crown promotion. So, but I don't know if they will continue to do this for future sets in those countries. We'll have to see. So yeah. Mm-hmm. All right. So that's that thing. Oh, and by the way, this Stellar Crown Lapras artwork is beautiful. This came from the Battle Academy, I think, right? This Lapras. Yeah.
I'd also just like to point out that somehow that 7-Eleven stamp, even with that giant white backer, is still somehow less awful than the GameStop logo.
You cut out for me. What did you say?
I said I would need to point out that the Lapras, even with the 7-Eleven stamp on there with the big white background, is still somehow significantly less awful
Than
than the GameStop logo.
Yeah, well, it's because they have a nice background behind it. But it's also like it's square, so it looks like if you put like the GameStop logo is like rectangular. If you put like the white background behind it, I don't know if that would work that well.
I think the white background is kind of part of the 7-Eleven stamp, but still.
Yeah. So yeah, and then if you haven't already, you can go to GameStop or Best Buy to pick up the. If you go to GameStop, you can get the Archaludon
and Raging Bolt promos.
You can get Raging Bolt from Best Buy, Archaludon from GameStop and EB Games, and also if you order products through their through this online stores, those promos will be included with your packages, so you don't have to actually go into the store.
Yeah,
GameStop.
That's for GameStop. I don't think that's the case for Best Buy.
No, it is the case. It's for both. I saw people saying they got their Best Buy orders.
That's new.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is new. I don't think they did that previously, or it was unreliable at best previously. I don't know. I would be willing to bet it's probably still unreliable, but yeah. I actually I don't go to GameStop or Best Buy in my day-to-day life. Like I'll go to Best Buy once in a while if I need to buy like some kind of electronic thing every few years, but I actually don't go to these stores. I go to Walmart mostly, I guess. What about you?
Usually through Amazon or Walmart.
Yeah, same. Amazon, yeah. Anyway. All right, so next story would be the Paradise Dragona.
The Secret Rares.
Yay. I like the Secret Rares for this set. I mean, I never not liked the Secret Rares, so...
I love the way this Skarmory looks. Can we just talk about how it's
Yes, I love Skarmory.
It almost looks like liquid metal, like one of those... It looks like it'd be like one of those not robot chickens, but like... I can't even describe it properly, but like...
It's chromey,
on some shows and stuff, you have like these chrome monsters coming, or chrome statues and stuff. That's what it looks like, and it's really cool.
Or like the Silver Surfer from that movie I never saw.
Yeah, sure, that one.
Well, I don't know what movie that was. Was that Marvel? What was that? Wait, do you know what movie that was?
Fantastic Four: Rise of Silver Surfer.
Oh, okay, yeah. So that's what Skarmory looks like, and I love the desert. Like out of all my friends hate how much I love the desert because I always want to go on road trips there and go camping there. But I love that the Skarmory is like perched on like an RV or something in a desert. So I am specifically going to buy this card, or in English anyway.
I love that Skarmory. Yeah, Skarmory's always been a Pokemon I like a lot. It's just, I think it's a very underappreciated Pokemon.
No, Skarmory was like always a very popular Gen 2 Pokemon. Like even competitively.
I said underappreciated. I didn't say it wasn't appreciated. I said it's underappreciated.
It's very appreciated, I think.
I think it's still underappreciated.
I don't know. I think people like Skarmory. Yeah, and then this is also one of the few cards that have cars in it, vehicles. I think there was is there a Landorus or something that was picking up a car or something? I don't remember. But anyway, yeah, and then we all love the cast form. We've talked about it before. The Latios and Latios obviously are connected artwork. Braviary's pretty.
Murica, the bird. Yeah.
Yeah. Then we didn't say these before. The Black Kyurem EX, Latios EX, full arts.
Black Kyurem we saw.
Yeah.
I don't know. The only full art we didn't see was Surfer, which, I mean, whatever.
I think Drayton was new too, wasn't he?
No.
I don't know. Was it revealed? No, I mean, since the last podcast.
The vast majority. We saw all the special illustration rare Pokemon. We didn't see the special illustration rare Drayton. That was new.
Oh, right. Sorry.
But the full art we'd seen.
Yeah. You're right. Yeah.
Jet Energy finally gets a gold.
Yeah.
Counter Gain getting another gold's good. Counter Gain, definitely a great card. Glad to see that card coming out.
Yeah. But
yeah, it's there are good arts here. We've just seen the vast majority of them already. Is the problem? Like again, we've seen most of these already, and some of them are really good. Like
another weird thing was that they revealed. I think they revealed almost all of these before they usually do. They revealed most of them, I think, before the.
If I'm not mistaken, the illustration rare Pokemon were all revealed prior to this.
Yeah. So it was a little unusual too. I don't know what's wrong with something changed over there. Maybe they got new marketing people or something. So something has changed with this set. Because
you going for the arm and a leg?
Oh yeah. I always like to slip in. It's always funny when you see people reacting to these jokes I always put into the stories. They like a lot of people are always acting like this is the first time I've ever done this, and I think it's because Pokemon always has such an influx of new people or whatever, and they like I have literally been putting jokes in these stories since 2003. Like I have always been. I mean, I don't know if you would call it a joke or whatever, but I don't often laugh
John,
at them.
It's not professional. Her.
This is a fan website. Like I am allowed to joke. I love when people tell me what I can do with my website. It's like you're coming into my house. Like, like don't walk into my house and tell me to, move a decoration or whatever. It's like I can joke all I want.
I just need a double chicken nuggets reprint is what I need.
Yeah. I think the only joke I think I ever posted where I actually laughed myself, which is like so arrogant, was I said like there was when I think it was Mega Rayquaza EX was first revealed or M Rayquaza EX was first revealed. It was blurry, and then I put in the translation. I think I wrote text unclear, but probably blows up the table. That was I laughed at that one, but I don't often laugh. I just like to remind people that like people always think like there's a robot writing these news stories, and it's like I put a lot of effort into like anticipating people's questions and answering them in the news story before they even ask them, and then of course they still ask it. But I like to remind people...
Because they read half the headline and think they know the whole article already.
Yeah, I like to remind people that, I'm a human and that I like to joke and that, there's a person behind all of this that's actually sitting down for hours and writing all this stuff. Anyway. Oh, yeah, people are always like, oh, it's to catch thieves. It's like, no, it's never been to catch thieves. The thieves, they go through everything and rewrite it. Like they don't get thrown off by things like that. Like they edit what they copy it and then they rewrite it. Serby used to do that all the time. He would literally copy all of our translations and then like rewrite them to be like 50 times worse because he didn't know the how the game text worked. So I'm like, no, that's not to catch people. It's just for fun. It's just to maybe give you a laugh once in a while. And then we will be getting all of these cards from Paradise Dragona and Supercharged Breaker in our Surging Spark set on November 8th. So look forward to that. All right, what's our next? Oh, we got... I guess we should go into... So the most valuable and least valuable cards from Paradise Dragona. So these were the prices for the first day of release. Of course, most of these prices are probably going to be cut in half, except for Lycia's Appeal Special Illustration Rare. But Lycia's Appeal Special Illustration Rare is the most expensive card in the set at $164 to $192 on the first day of release, followed by Latias EX's Special Illustration Rare, followed by Lycia's Appeal Full Art, then Alolan Executor EX's Special Illustration Rare, Archaludon EX's Special Illustration Rare, Drayton's Special Illustration Rare, Jet Energy, Counter Gains, Gold Cards, Alolan Executor EX's Gold Card, Latias EX's Full Art, Drayton's Full Art, and Black Curium EX's Full Art. So no surprise, of course, that...
I mean, Drayton's a little higher than I would expect it to be. I guess it is a Special Illustration Rare, but it's also not very playable. Overall, this isn't that unexpected, though.
No, and
Lisia's appeal being number one is very expected.
Yeah, and I think aren't I'd have to go back and look again, but isn't like the number one special illustration rare trace card from the set usually this price range on release day in the other stories I've posted?
Somewhere like that.
Yeah, so it's
at
not
least,
like...
At least if it's a young female, yeah.
Yeah, it's not like Iono. I think Iono was the one exception where she was just off the charts.
Iono broke stuff. But here's the thing. Lisia's appeal is one of those cards that could see some niche play. Iono is in everything.
Uh-huh.
So Licia might be a 1 or 2 of in a deck. Iono, especially when it first released, 3 or 4 in a lot of decks. So people trying to pick up those cards, extremely high demand, not remotely enough supply. The card price just went through the roof.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And then excluding illustration rares, the least valuable secret rares are Dragona, Surfer, and Cyclozar EX's full arts. So
yeah, that's no surprise. They're all pretty bulk.
Are these cards? I don't remember what they do. Is Dragona and Surfer? Do they just have bad effects?
They're not very good. Surfer's like switch a Pokemon and then draw till 5.
Oh yeah, that's right.
It's like a worse version of Birdkeeper.
Yeah. So I guess they just had bad effects. And then Latios is the most valuable illustration rare at $3 to $4 likely because its artwork connects to Latios EX's special illustration rare. Skarmory is in second place at $1 to $3, no surprise. And then the rest are around $1 to $2. So Skarmory getting some extra attention here because people know that it's good artwork and that it's a popular Pokemon. And then
it's just good.
The most valuable double rares are Latios EX and Archaludon EX. Was that because do these have better effects? I don't remember.
They're both playable. They're both very playable.
Okay, cool. So that's why. So it's the players influencing the prices of these.
Mm-hmm.
And that's about it for this story. Nothing too surprising, I guess. And then we had Stellar Crown's English cards revealed in.
We've seen them.
Yeah, we've seen all these. So
yeah,
posted a set guide the other day, and then we have Stellar Crown released. I think on Friday? Today's Saturday. Released yesterday. So be sure to go pick it up if you are interested in the set. I am going to be buying singles of just a couple of the cards.
Yeah, it's actually interesting you mentioned buying singles because I usually buy 3 booster boxes of a set.
Mm-hmm.
With this one, I got my judge compensation box for running all the pre-releases at my league, and that's all I'm opening for it.
Yeah. Everything
else is going to be singles. I don't think, and to be fair, if you check out the video on my YouTube channel where I did open it, the box was absolutely insane. One of the best boxes I've ever opened.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
What did you get?
It was very loaded. Spoilers, you have to watch.
Oh.
But it was a very, very good box. But that said, I still, for the most part, I'm going to get singles in this set. I don't think it's worth opening packs for this set.
Yeah, and it's also like a smaller set than usual, which I think contributes to that. So it's not like a mega set where you really have to, buy packs to get a lot. It's
not even that it's smaller. It's just kind of like Obsidian Flames. It's padded out with a lot of bulk.
Yeah, the Battle Academy.
And it makes it really rough to open.
But I want the looking through this. I want the Bulbasaur. I want the Laleep. I want the Squirtle. I don't want that one. I'm not going to go out of my way for that. I want the Terapagos EX Special Illustration Rare, as I said before. Maybe want Briar. But I didn't really like her character in the games. She was like, so when Terapagos was going out of control in Area Zero, she was like encouraging what's his face? What's his name? The guy with the freckle on his neck. What's his name? What's the guy's name?
I don't know who you're talking about.
He has a card. No, he doesn't have a card. Carmine's brother. What's his name?
Kieran, and yes, he does.
Kieran, yeah, sorry. Kieran, yeah, he does have a card. she was encouraging Kieran to go out of control with Terapagos. So I don't like her character in the games. She was a little crazy. But I do like this artwork though, actually. And I've seen people post videos of the Japanese card, at least, where it's really sparkly, like it's very pretty.
This card gives me mad scientist vibes.
Exactly, that's what she is.
Yeah,
that's how she was in the games. I mean, she does apologize after she did all that, but and then she's who was she related to again in the game? She was related. She's the descendant of I can't remember. See, this is why I'm not good at speaking out loud. We've talked about before. I have to sit down and think.
Historian Heath.
Yeah, Heath. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Thank you for being my Google.
I'm the Bulbapedia.
And I think that's it for the.
I think that is it.
Yeah, that's it. It was a slow 2 weeks, which was perfect. I mean, because you were busy and I'm doing things. So, yeah. Then I don't.
Yeah, turns out moving sucks.
We should be getting more Pocket information soon. I kind of saw people on social media hinting that. I think there might have been a demo or something for it. That was the vibes I was getting, like a press thing for it, but. I don't know. I might be making it up in my head. I think we're going to
next week we might start getting our preview of Supercharged Breaker too, right?
Yes. No, we should actually, because it comes out in by the time this Thursday rolls around, it'll be coming out in 3 weeks. So I remember you thought it was going to be revealed last week, but then no, because Paradise Dragona.
No, I thought there might be a possibility. I don't think there would.
Possibility. But they'll give it a week for Paradise
Just because
Dragona.
The time frame is so narrow between these two sets.
Yeah, so it'll probably be revealed this coming. So on Thursday is when it would probably be revealed, or Friday their time. But they also have the Champions League next weekend on Saturday, so we might see the reveal on Friday our time. So it'll be like maybe Thursday or Friday our time. We'll see the reveal of it. They'll probably show the Terra Pikachu EX, or if they do it like they did for some of the sets, they'll show like the booster pack artwork the first day, and then they'll show cards the next day or something like that. So anyway, it'll be probably next weekend-ish that we'll see Supercharged Breaker. And then, is that what's coming up? I don't think there's... And then I feel like they're going to start marketing Pocket pretty soon, because it's coming out in... It'll be coming out in like... Well, I guess... Yeah, there's, 6 weeks till it comes out? End of October. We're in mid-September now. It comes out end of October, so... I guess they could wait another few weeks for that, but I think we'll start getting Pocket stuff pretty soon. Hopefully we'll see gameplay and figure out how that game's going to work, because that energy zone is still a mystery.
Yeah.
So we'll look forward to that. I'll look for any... if anyone didn't.
So before we wrap up, there are a few things we should talk about. We do have another review on the Apple Podcasts.
Oh.
So I want to talk about that. We also asked our viewers a question last week, or 2 weeks ago now, and we got a bunch of answers. So I want to go over those too. So 5-star review first. This is my trusted source for all my Pokemon TCG news and updates. I watch this podcast on YouTube every week. The show and podcast keeps me informed on all the Pokemon news I didn't know I actually cared about. Also, I love kitties. I care for 3 wonderful kitties, Booger, Sparkle, and Cinnamon.
Aww.
This show or podcast is one of the most entertaining and genuine sources for Pokemon news that's out there. The hosts make me smile. It's nice sitting here on the Poke Beach. So, thank you.
Sweet.
Yeah, thank you. The name's cut off here, but I think it's Eugene or Huge something. But thank you so much for your review. And then last episode, we talked about how do you listen to the Poke Beach podcast? How do you watch it? What do you do? So some of them, I'm going to hit a few of these. Whedon TCG says, I literally check Spotify every single morning to see if he posted a new podcast. I have an hour-long commute to work, so I often listen on the way to or from work. You make the morning drive so much more fun. So that's good. Michael Cheesy2113 says, big fan of your show. I've listened for a bit, but it's always while driving and not on YouTube. I felt compelled to come on and share how great the show is after last episode, though. Keep up the great work. It's taught me so much being brand new to the Pokemon TCG.
Aw.
And then Sergio Power Serge Martinez says, hey all, new to the TCG community, would love some advice on building my first real deck. I am going to start playing at my local card store. I was an original player back in the 90s, but man, has the game changed. Any videos you have that you would that would help? There is a series of getting. Hold on. There is a series of deck building put together by Frosted Caribou. She's one of the official Pokemon commentators. I would recommend watching that for building your first deck. Alternatively, you can do what John is suggesting and grab a Charizard EX League Battle deck that comes out here soon. You can grab one of those and get started that way. I would recommend as a beginning player that you focus on just building a deck that you know works. So something that's won or placed very well at a big tournament like a regional. Build that and then learn how to play it. A lot of new players, they want to just start building their own decks right away. The problem is they don't really know how the game works. They just know the basics of the rules and they think they know how to put a deck together. And even with the best guys in the world, if you aren't an excellent player, or at least a very good player, your deck building is going to be lackluster, even if you're following good guides. So just be aware that you need to learn how to be a great player before you become a great deck builder. So my recommendation there is definitely going to be do what you know works. Play it on live, play it in real life, whatever you need to do. Get good at it, get good at a couple different decks, and then start branching out from there.
Good advice. I remember when I was building my first deck, I did it more around Pokemon that I liked. Like I made like a Blastoise deck because I love Wartortle and Squirtle and Blastoise, which was actually conveniently an actual good deck because it had Rain Dance back then. I don't know if you could do that now, but yeah.
I think for really casual play, especially like kitchen table, that's perfectly fine.
Yeah.
Just picking a Pokemon you really like and building around it. If you can, some cards are just bad.
Or the cards that you just have. Like sometimes, you're just getting started and you've got some cards and you're just trying to get like through the motions of learning the basic rules and stuff. It's perfectly fine to just cobble something together or go to a pre-release.
Yeah, learn the rules. Oh, pre-releases are great for that.
Yeah.
There are quite a few more responses. I'm just going to read a few more.
Sure.
David Monjo6122 says, I'm watching this like I would watch a TV series, so it's actually pretty actively. You're quite entertaining to watch because of the contrast, and your duo works incredibly well. I originally planned to add a review on Apple, but realized there was no video there, and it threw me off. Having the video and seeing you two have a great time actually adds a lot of value to the show. In addition, you already talked about this in the video, but I want to reiterate on it because I think it's important. Thank you so very much. And then let me do just a couple more. Polytoad, I listen when I'm doing yard work or cooking. Also, LOL at the 30 HP. I don't know if you remember me making a joke about, the Weedle. Glad you guys don't roll like that, but it was fun to hear Justin Basil parody it. And then I'll do one more here. I watch on YouTube. You guys are my Sunday guilty pleasure. We're guilty pleasures, apparently, not just pleasures. Ooh, guilty.
I don't mind being guilty pleasure. I mean...
This video was one of the best episodes in a long time. You guys both had some crazy energy.
Because we had
sleep. See what happens. Yeah. When I get sleep again, I'll let you know. You both had some crazy energy. We'll see what happens when John isn't sleepy and Justin Basil isn't complaining that the Pokemon suck. You guys are great. Keep it super dynamic.
I actually went to bed last night at 9:30 and woke up at like 5, so I had a lot of sleep for this episode, plus I drank all my coffee before we started, so I think that helped me be more coherent this episode. So I think I need to... Sleep is important. Sleep is
important. One of these days I'm gonna have a bed that doesn't suck.
I knew what you were about. You almost said it. Your mouth made the bee. Your mouth made the bee, and then you cut yourself off.
I am planning to get a purple mattress later this year, but in the meantime, I have a mattress that was given to me like 5 years ago, and it was not good when I got it, and it's even worse now.
I thought my
back is just awful all the time.
I thought I read that those purple mattresses like disintegrate and release plastic into the air or something.
I'm sure they do. But they're also some of the most comfortable things I've ever laid on. Most of my family have them.
You can get a pad that goes over your existing mattress that's like a memory foam one, and it's very comfortable.
I've used that. They're useless. The bed has to be at least somewhat decent for that to work.
Oh.
This is not a decent mattress. I've tried that. It doesn't do enough. So yeah, I would basically just have to get another mattress to put on top of my mattress to make it comfortable. Which at that point, I'm just going to get a different mattress. So, but in the meantime, I get to wake up every day with back pain. So yeah, it is what it is.
It comes as soon as you hit 30, it's all downhill. You know, I tell people that all the time, and then they come back to me and like, "Yep, it's like my back's going out. I'm getting sores.
Look,
I'm getting dizzy when I stand up."
I was born at the top of the hill.
What'd you say?
I was born at the top of the hill.
Born at the top of the hill?
I was born at the top of the hill.
What's that expression?
It's been downhill.
Oh, LOL. I get it. So if you've made it this far in the episode, comment.
Why not Skarmory?
Yeah, that's a good one.
We talked about Skarmory a lot.
That's good. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love that. And do we have a question that we want to ask the viewers for the next episode? Since I love the participation.
Let's actually, and I have a good one, I think. What Pokemon do you most want to see get a chase card in an upcoming set?
Ooh.
And what would you want to see on that chase card?
Ooh, I love that. If you're asking me that, I would say Wartortle because I love Wartortle. Everyone's just gonna say their favorite Pokemon. That's all they're gonna say.
So you're just gonna do like an illustration of a Wartortle?
A Wartortle in front of the you know that playmat that has like the you know that traditional Japanese artwork that has the wave. It's the wave in front of like Mount Fuji or whatever. Like, be cool to see like Wartortle getting that kind of in that setting. Actually, I think he is on that playmat. Sorry, go ahead.
For me, I would like to see a Terra Water type Blossom EX with a callback to the original like Delta Species Blossom, the Water type one. But I want it to be a playable card, like actually decent. I don't know how they would necessarily do that, but something cool. Maybe something that kind of pairs with like a Vileplume. Maybe has a hit and run kind of feature that allows the Vileplume to go in the active and like trainer locks the opponent. Something cool with Blossom.
I actually, I wouldn't want to see any Terra anymore. I hate Terra. I hate the hats. So I would.
But they've done cool arts with the Terras still. Greninja is a great example of that. Terapagos is a great example of that. They can do good art.
Terapagos
obviously, it's going to be special illustration rares, but
that's part of Terapagos. But I hate the hats. I don't like. I like when they hide the hats. Actually, then
they can hide the hats. But I still want really good art that on a playable Blossom EX, a water type, make it cool. Make give us a dark type Vileplume that can be thrown in the active. Yeah. That's another thing we haven't gotten. Give me a dark type Oddish, dark type Vileplume.
Maybe we'll get not a dark type Vileplume, but maybe we'll get a dark Vileplume in the Team Rocket set.
We'll see. That's not the same though.
No, I know. But it did have didn't Dark Vileplume from Team Rocket have trainer lock?
Dark Vileplume that did. It's one of the most ridiculous trainer locks in the game.
Yeah, so maybe you'll get that.
I don't want that effect. I want it to have to be in the active spot.
And then also, if you've made it this far, tell us how long you've been reading PokeBeach or Justin Basil's website. Like, and then give us an idea of like how long you've been reading the website. And then we only started this podcast a year ago, so we know that you guys have only been able to listen for a year, but the website PokeBeach is 21 years old. So I'm curious how people listening to this, how long they've been reading the website itself.
Justin Basil's 5 years old now.
Yeah. It feels like you've been here a lot longer, actually.
Yeah.
To me, it feels like those 5 years, it feels like you've been here much longer than that. Because a lot of people use your website because it's very helpful. So it's like it's mentioned quite a bit. All right, so I guess that's it for the week. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe. We love reading your comments, and let us know what you think with those questions we asked. And we will see you all next week. Be sure to pick up Stellar Crown if you're interested in the set. And this coming week, we should see the reveal of Supercharged Breaker, so we'll look forward to that. And I guess that's it. Anything else to say?
No, we'll see you all next week.
Oh my God, I was looking over, the screen was cut off, and I thought we didn't record any of this. I just had a mini panic attack for a half a second. We've done that. We did that one episode actually where I didn't record. Remember that?
We had to re-record the whole episode. Yeah, yes, I remember that episode.
But that was a very short episode. Luckily, that was actually, I think, one of the shortest.
The re-record was very short. It was like 15 minutes shorter than the main episode. Was the original episode? Well, it was a lot shorter because
we're especially back then we were always so tired. I mean, especially me. So once we got the practice in of going through everything, then we could like really condense our thoughts down into something more coherent when we did the re-record, I guess. But yeah, it looks like this episode's going to be a little over an hour and 10. So, all right, we will see you all next week. Thanks for commenting for those of you who did. And we hope you all have a good week. Bye.
Bye-bye.